it is. And we are live with no countdown today, just to make it easier for everybody. But also, I might want to wrap up. There's going to be there's something going on the internet I might want to tune into, having to do with the Project Veritas drop from yesterday. So I'm going to cover that. And then I do want to talk about what everybody is talking about, kind of, but it could just be what I'm talking about because I've been talking about it a lot. And that's mostly artificial intelligence. But there is some news on that today I have for you. So, and maybe I should explain to you guys in case I haven't said it enough, how it's going to take over everything. So that's what everybody's talking about. And the AI did help out with the thumbnail and did draw a picture that's not perfect. The AI will improve. It will definitely improve. It'll improve fast. So I'm just telling you that it's a thing. And you might want to invest in it. I don't know. I'm thinking about it. BuzzFeed, I'll tell you the news about it. So I'll tell you that. I'll tell you about AI. I'll tell you about all the different things it can do, just so you're aware, and like how it's going to disrupt everything kind of fast, just so you're aware. And then I do want to talk about the controversy surrounding the Project Veritas video from yesterday. There is controversy about it. So I'll definitely go over that with you. So thanks for tuning in. All that and more on today's Lift the Veil show. Okay, cue musical intro. Boy, that's brilliant. I do think some things in the world are real. Like you guys. You guys are real. Most of you. Most of my listeners, I think, are not just in my head. I think I have the metrics to prove it. You've taken a leap of faith today. What is that sound? And I apologize if you take offense. I'm a little offended myself. Welcome to our show. Welcome to the future. What it is, joining you live from sunny California. It's a beautiful day today. I'm your host, Nathan Stoltman. And I bring you the news, the real news. Yeah, the real news is what you tuned in for. So I'm going to tell you about the emergence of AI and the news stories about it today. And our partnership coming up with the terrorist state of Israel. I don't know if you can say that if they say that's anti-Semitic. Are you allowed to say anything bad about them? So we're teaming up with them, though, with AI. And that was announced today in a speech written by AI. So today in the Houses of Congress was the first speech ever on the floor that was written by a chatbot, ChatGPT. And what did that chatbot write? To propose that the United States and Israel team up with their AI stuff. So that technology, the most important technology we could possibly possess, we're going to share it with the terrorist state of Israel, believe it or not. So, but that's what we're up to. Or what can you call it? Apartheid state? Or can you just say it's far right, or that they have racist policies and stuff? Can you say any of that stuff about Israel? As long as you don't say. That's who we're teaming up with, though, for the AI dominance. So I'll cover that story. But first, because it was yesterday's news, the Project Veritas video came out. Let me see. George Webb, George Webb happens to be the guy talking about this on Twitter. who says, well, he has a whole conspiracy theory about it. But the main thing is if you guys saw the video, the guy said that if you saw the video, he said that Pfizer was working on gain of function research. He called it directed evolution. And now they're talking about maybe having Senate hearings and stuff about it. And they're about to have another Twitter Spaces about it too, which is what I think I need to try to tune into. So my video was about that video yesterday, and I said, wow, that's shocking that Pfizer would be working on gain of function research. But the guy might have just been completely making it up. The guy really might have been. So they confronted him today, and that's what he said, is that he just made it up to impress somebody on a date. And that's the danger of these catfish operations. And, people do. So anyway, you guys have to decide. Maybe I should run a poll. They say the guy isn't nearly. Apparently, George Webb is saying, and if you want to support the show, let me get this out of the way. If you want to support the show, I've noticed that I get more support when I bully people. So that's not a good practice. But if you want to support the show, go to buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil. So I don't have to bully you, and support the show, because we give you like free entertainment pretty much every night without much AI assistance. It's not AI. Like, you actually hear original human thoughts on this show, believe it or not, for free, except I deserve to be compensated. So go to buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil and leave me a coffee and a note, and I'll read it on the show. I will. But yeah, the George Webb is saying that they said that the guy in the video was the worldwide director of mRNA research for Pfizer. So, and apparently he was not. He was only there for a little bit. Here's something. Here's somebody who wrote about it, okay? Someone who worked at Pfizer. Said, first about this person, I don't know who he is. Some people are now trying to verify whether he works at Pfizer. Let's assume he does. His title is Director of R&D Operations and Scientific Planning. Everyone should understand that this area is not a science area. He does not work in a lab. He pushes paper, makes PowerPoints and other documents, and talks to vendors. Pfizer outsources all scientific and clinical trial work. Nobody inside Pfizer does anything related to product to avoid liability and to have contractors commit fraud on their behalf, so that the executives always have plausible deniability. In addition, this guy is not intelligent. He is drunk, but he is also clearly average IQ. This is exactly the type that Pfizer has hired in droves in the past decade or so, while getting rid of intelligent, experienced people who knew how to design and develop drugs because they asked too many inconvenient questions that would not be easily bamboozled into implement. Okay, all right. So there's more, but basically you get the idea. Directed evolution. He says, I'll play you the video. He says he's not even a scientist. He says he was making it up. George Webb has recorded some videos about it. George Webb is a real character. I wouldn't trust him at all, but he might be correct about this one. In which case, this whole method of catfish journalism is questionable when you get people who might lie and you're not able to verify the information. So anyway, we might hear them defending themselves on Twitter Spaces tonight. So here's the video. I just watched it. It came out a couple hours ago. So this is the video of the conference. You know how they do the video first, the undercover video first, and then they do the confrontation. So this is the confrontation video.
Hey there. Is this seat taken? You work for Pfizer. My question for you is, why does Pfizer want to hide from the public the fact that they're mutating the COVID viruses?
Is this real life? I'm literally a liar. I was trying to impress a person on a date by lying. This is absurd.
Please don't touch me. Well, this is not. By the way,
Why are you doing
don't
this?
tell anybody.
Someone who's just working at a company to literally help the public. You f***ed up. You really did. Please bring the cops as soon as possible. I'm really very unsafe.
Can you please unlock your door?
No, don't let them leave.
Please unlock the door.
What is going on
us our
here?
stuff. Please unlock. Please unlock the door. Please unlock the door. Unlock the door. You're trying to get unlock the door. Unlock the door.
So gets crazy, right?
Pfizer not want the public to know that you guys are doing directed evolution.
Bro, what's going on here? That feels like an interview. I know, it's freaking out. I mean, these like flashbacks to that like sting organization of like those conservative people who like randomly go into organizations and then like befriend people who work in these organizations and then report them, which happened to people at Pfizer. And so it like freaks me out when people start asking a lot of questions about work. It's so great.
Really? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Why would that do this company?
Because I just want to know the answer.
I don't know why you're reporting me. Oh my god, Jason, that'd be horrible. You would not be reporting me or something like that.
Hey there. Is this seat taken?
What?
Hi. You work for Pfizer. My question for you is, why does Pfizer want to hide from the public the fact that they're mutating the COVID virus?
Is this real life? What is happening here?
Why?
I'll run a
What
poll.
is-
I'll run a poll. Real, legit, or how should I phrase it? How should I phrase it so you guys understand? Legit or baloney? Engage with my audience. Start a poll. Was he making it all up? Yes or no? That's easy. Yes or no questions are easy. I'll weigh in after I play a little more. So I watched the original video. I showed it last night on my show. I'm curious if they haven't taken down the video from Project Veritas. They haven't taken down my video yet. I got a video strike on a totally different video. But I am curious. And also, I put it up just assuming it would be legit because it was from Project Veritas, who has a pretty good track record. Pretty good. Not perfect, but pretty good. Not perfect, but pretty good. So at least it, showing stuff that's real. In this case, the guy really said it, but it sounds crazy. That's the thing, is when I first heard it, I thought, it kind of sounds crazy. This directed evolution, like, could they really be doing that? That would be really, really, really something. And then it turns out this guy isn't that high up at the company. He's not even a scientist. So I'll play more, okay? Then you guys decide, and I'll check the poll.
What's going on here? This is absurd.
Why does Pfizer want to hide from the public that they're mutating the COVID virus?
Oh my god.
You're on video. You're on video. Mutating
What
this
is
COVID
going
virus.
on here? I need to call the police right now. This is.
And I know this is my restaurant. I don't know what's going on.
I don't know what's going on either. This is ridiculous.
So you're on video. I'm a journalist.
Bro, first of all, I'm literally a liar.
He's on video.
Whoa.
You're saying we're exploring how the
Hi,
virus keeps mutating.
Yes,
One of the things
I'm
we're
at a restaurant
exploring is
right now, and these people brought cameras out.
why don't we mutate the
I
virus?
don't know what's happening. But I really need the cops here right now.
So
What is this?
please do
Let's not do this here.
please do call the police. Please do call the police. Please do.
You can't do this here, guys.
Okay.
Not for these. No, you can't do this here.
You're gonna call the police. He's gonna call the police for asking him a question. Please do call the police. Please do. He's on tape here talking about mutating the COVID virus. Can I talk to you outside about this?
Absolutely not. You're not even my likeness on this. What is your name? Because you fucked up. You really did. I'm about to sue you. This is absurd.
Please.
You had someone mock me as if they're going on a date to record me. You don't even know my position at this. I was trying to impress a person on a date
What's your
by
position?
lying. I was literally trying.
Okay.
I'm not even a scientist by background. You know
What
that I
is your
came from a
position?
consulting firm
All right.
that does business.
Please,
This is
please,
absurd.
please don't touch me.
This is absurd.
So-
Please call the cops here.
Please do call the cops. Please do.
Please. This is
Why would you call the cops if you have nothing to hide? So he's obviously having one of the most outrageous reactions I've ever seen.
All right, so there you go.
in the
Then he
history of
ends up like breaking the iPad and stuff. So the results of the poll are people saying that it's true that he wasn't making it all up. 70-30 so far. But my opinion, given how implausible it was in the first place, is that he was probably making it up to try to get laid. Guys do say crazy shit. I think women do too. But guys are the ones usually more desperate. So they will say crazy shit sometimes. And that is some crazy shit. Like, I kind of doubt Pfizer was doing that. Even though Pfizer knows Pfizer's up to some bad stuff. I don't know if they were thinking about mutating a virus, because that would be pretty crazy. So anyway, it's possible though. It's possible. Just my read on it. Like, I don't know. So I'm going to tune in and listen to what they have to say about it, just to see what they're saying. But it kind of seems like the guy wasn't that high up. If it's true what George Webb said about them saying he was some kind of global director for mRNA research, then that's not cool, because if they misrepresented his position. So anyway, that's what's going on with Project Veritas. So I think my read on it, okay, but I don't know. The guy could be telling the truth. It's possible. But my read on it right now is it's kind of unlikely. But I'll stay tuned and do more research on it to see if we find out more. If it was true, then it is a crazy, crazy, crazy story. But it's so many crazies that it's harder to believe. So, but I see what the poll says. So, Job for 9 says, am I going to live stream the thing? I can't do it on YouTube, but I might live stream it on Rockfin for people who want to tune in over there. So I might do that, because they're probably going to say some stuff. They say stuff in Twitter Spaces that you definitely can't say on YouTube. So I'll think about tuning into it though and going over. Speaking of the vaccines, since it's the same topic, they're not going to give the boosters anymore to people under 50 in the UK. So that's a big change. They're not going to give people boosters anymore if they're under 50 years old, starting in February. So and there's some kind of meeting going on today with FDA people deciding whether we're going to do the annual booster shot for everybody here in the United States. And that definitely, could have some interesting results from that meeting, because one of the guys at the meeting already says the latest booster shouldn't go to everybody. So it could be we change our guidelines too. People wonder, why are they changing their guidelines? Yeah, why are they changing their guidelines? If it's safe and effective, or if it's like 100% safe and somewhat effective, then you would keep giving it to everybody, right? Like, why would you say that you're going to discontinue it for people under 50? Is there a reason for that? Because if it's totally safe, then what does it matter, But in any case, that is what they're thinking about doing. That is what they are doing, is canceling it in the UK. All right, let me get to AI news. All right. This is what's in the news. Okay, I've been using the ChatGPT chatbot. All right. It can do a lot of things. It can do things such as you can give it an idea and it can turn it into a story, a screenplay, an article. So I've used it, the ChatGPT, which is available for everybody. It's not comprehensive, but it's okay. I tested different things with it. And I'm just saying that it will do a million things, some of which could be valuable to you, and which you will probably use in some form or another form. I mean, the thing about AI is I've been talking about it for a while now. I'm saying it's going to take over. I've been saying how it's going to impersonate me, how it's going to learn how to be like me and replace me and stuff. Kind of joking, but kind of serious. I've been talking about it for a little while. But in reality, AI already controls like so much what we do that it's not really, even though now AI is a big deal and everybody's talking about it. Everybody's talking about ChatGPT and this stuff, okay? But AI was already controlling everything. It controls whether people come and see my video. I have to write a title that's going to go well with the AI, and maybe a thumbnail that goes well with the AI. You're here because the AI decided you might want to see this. So I rely on it, at least on YouTube. Not so much on Rockfin and Rumble either. They don't have good AI. But TikTok is successful, almost 100%. The reason for the success of TikTok over Vine, which I guess did kind of the same thing, TikTok just has better AI. It knows what you want to watch. So YouTube is good. It when it works correctly, and I knew it when it did. When it works correctly, it knows that this is an interesting show. And people, when they tune into it, stay tuned into it. They're interested in it. And the AI knows I talk about stuff that's really interesting. But it's so interesting that they have to shadow ban me half the time. But still, it can't help it. The AI can't help but find my show kind of interesting. So it serves it up to people if I use the right title. So I spend a lot of time working on the titles, which are ridiculous. Basically, the titles for the show are ridiculous. I know they're ridiculous. You should know they're ridiculous, but it's your fault, and it is the fault of these machines, which choose things based on what they find interesting. But they do things based on what they think you'll like. They think you'll like this show with this title. So anyway, I'll just show you what it means for stuff like stocks. I'm starting to think how to profit from it. Well, already what I've done with it is I wrote an article. Okay. So, and it's not 100% yet, but it will be. So I found an article may or may not have been behind a paywall. And it was about this cryptocurrency bank that's having problems. But it was a really long article. Okay. And I was like, oh, this is an interesting article for me to publish on my Substack because I talk about crypto and I always throw out crypto stuff. And this is something that might crash things if the bank goes down. So it's, I like to be on top of what's happening and be on top of the news. So I wanted to publish that story, but it was like really long. I didn't want to just do a link to the article. So I wanted a summary of the article that's shorter, which is exactly what Zero Hedge does. So anyway, I did it. I fed it all the text from the article, told it to write me a summary, and I posted it as an article on my Substack as original content. Might be plagiarism. I mean, it really might be. I don't know exactly. But in the future, I can run a newsroom myself with the right AI, basically, because I could do it now. Like right now, what I need, because I'm like, I have ideas and I come across news stories all the time. And what if I was able to write an article about these news stories and also do video? Or what if there was something that watched my videos and suggested articles based on the things I talked about and was able to write them in my voice? I'd still tell it what to write about. And I was still the one creating the original content. But I need the assistance. Like if I had writers, when I tried to launch my website before, I need writers. I need people who write stuff. But the AI can write stuff. If I give it the ideas, the AI can write it. And I can tell it how to write it. And eventually it'll be able to, it's going to be very sophisticated. So it'll know how to talk like me. It already can. The Twitter bot can. The Twitter bot already knows how to talk like me, sort of. It makes up tweets. It can make up tweets as if they're coming from me. They're not perfect, but the AI is not perfect yet. It's about to be way more advanced than it is now. So people are excited now because they're using ChatGPT. ChatGPT, if you haven't used it yet, is a thing you talk to and you just tell it stuff. You say, oh, I'd like to know this, or give me some advice on this. What if I wanted to do this? It'll tell you. You can give it ideas. And then like for people who are members on Substack or on buymeacoffee.com, you can read the short story that I worked on with it. And I gave it all the ideas basically, but still I didn't write the whole thing. It wrote it. And it's not perfect. It's not like a bestseller, but it's something. Like it is a story. It is complete. It is correct. And it's in the future, it's just going to do everything. So BuzzFeed, anyway, so I know for a fact that there will be AI that'll let me run a newsroom. So I have to think about whether to do that as a website, because then it's very straightforward. I would just say, okay, well, this is what Zero Hedge does. Article in the Wall Street Journal, which is behind a paywall. They'll write about it. They'll do a summary of the article with some quotes from the article. That's it. A human being really isn't required, I don't think. Now, like I'm on the spectrum, so I can prefer computers over people. That might be like kind of normal. So yes, I'm biased. I understand the advantages of computers over people, how they're better than people in a lot of ways, which they are. I mean, unfortunately for people, but it could do that. It can do what half of Zero Hedge's content isn't original content, or a lot of it isn't original content. It's just it's an article, they summarize it, they put some quotes from it. The AI can do that if you give it the data, if you just give it the information. So I can see the value in it. And then beyond that, so for news, it can do news. It can write news. You could just say, oh, here are 3 articles about this subject. Here's my slant on it. Write a 1,000 word article, please. It'll do it. And then you might say, oh, I don't like this part. Can you just change that? And it'll do it. And it can still be with your slant on things. You tell it what voice to use, so forth. So like I might take this story, for example, which is a crazy story. And, you know, you might want to put out an article about it. Transgender rapist Isla Bryson moved to men's prison. Okay, so they reversed their decision to post this transgender rapist, this person who says they're a woman now, who raped people as a man, was going to be housed in a women's jail. So be good to have a summary of that with the video. Just put out something. It's important news. So I would just feed it the information and put it out there. I mean, it's not exactly. And then what you definitely could do is give it scientific papers and stuff. So like there's a scientific paper on the shots right now in another reality, but it might be fake or something, but there's this study that shows based on a survey that a bunch of people might have died because of something. Okay. I won't even say it. That's what the study shows, but it's a scientific paper. And it's kind of hard to digest. So normally what a science writer would do is read the scientific paper and put it in terms that people can understand. That's what a science writer would do for the New York Times or what have you. But AI can do that pretty much. So there's like, it can do everything. It can be an attorney better than most attorneys. Like I don't need one. I had it write me a letter to YouTube to remove my strike because I got a strike for incitement of violence. It wrote a perfect threatening legal letter to YouTube. Perfect. Like I wouldn't want an attorney. There's a reason. Like, why do you hire an attorney? You're like, oh, okay. Like, so I'm the little guy, right? I don't have money to buy. I don't have attorneys. I don't have a team. I don't have anything. But I have a chatbot, and the chatbot can pass the bar. I think it can pass the U.S. medical licensing exams now. So anyway, I told it, write a letter to YouTube for me. And it wrote a perfect legal letter to YouTube. And you can see it on my Twitter account. You can see me documenting the future on my Twitter account because I'm explaining the way things are going to happen kind of before they're happening, because I'm actually using the technology and I can understand the implications of the technology. The implications are like literally anybody with skills, competency, it's like almost irrelevant. Competency is practically irrelevant because the machines can be competent at nearly anything. Driving, for example, is, pretty, I've been talking about driving for a while. It's interesting that this other technology came out faster than real self-driving cars, but there are real self-driving cars on the road. But that's very hard to do. Very hard to navigate roads, completely autonomously. But putting words together in the right order, it's figured out how to do that. So, which psychiatry, forget about it. If you ever talk to a psychiatrist, they're already AI. They're already machines. They already don't do anything. There's no reason, like doctors, if you ever go to a doctor, what do? I don't know. When I go to the doctor, they go to a machine and they just ask me questions and click boxes. That's it. And then somebody puts a cuff on and stuff, reads your blood pressure. I mean, what do you need them for? I mean, really, That's the point now. The thing can pass a medical licensing exam. That takes how much learning? 10 years or something? Why do you need to learn it if the information is right there? I mean, that's what I'm wondering. I don't know. I was like really smart in school. Went to the best school in the country, got a 4.0 and stuff. But I always thought it was stupid learning how to memorize stuff. I always did. I always thought, what are we doing? So sometimes I would, actually I would cheat. Like if there was a test where it was like world capitals. That was the test. You literally just had to learn the world capital in every country in the world. And I was like, what is you just teach? Are we just learning how well we memorize things? I mean, really? But that's what medical education is. That's what being a lawyer is. I mean, I qualified to go to law school and stuff, but it's like, I don't know. For me, I'm not into all this like memorization crap. I'd like to learn stuff and digest things and learn new information and come up with new ideas. But as far as like actually the stuff that doctors know, the stuff that lawyers know, the AI can do it. I mean, there's no other way to put it. They can replace public defenders with AI. Everything, almost everything. The things that we can still do well, like this, is really hard for the machines to do. It's like grabbing things is really hard for the machines to do. So yeah, for a while, picking strawberries is still going to be a job. But it's some of this white collar stuff. Being a journalist, like what did most journalists do? They just read a few things, report on it. So what you get? So you have some new court document came out. And right now, the AI can't really read the internet. You have to feed it the information, so it's not perfect. But let's say charges are filed. Charges are filed in some court case. Well, you give it the thing, and it'll tell you. I mean, there was a whole industry, this thing called Cliff Notes. If you guys don't remember, when I was growing up, like you want to read a book. Or when we were doing Hamlet, I remember in college, I got the Cliff Notes, and they're great because it was like a summary of all the important points in the story. I thought was amazing. I read the Cliff Notes. Well, the AI can do that. It can do that. Read something and give you a summary of it in English, easy. With quotes, no problem. So that's all I'm saying is eventually. And then I'm going to have something to watch my video and figure out how to make a YouTube short from it. That'll be really straightforward. It'll figure out if I say something interesting, it'll turn it into a YouTube short, post it for me. Maybe it can post to Instagram for me so I can have an Instagram account. The things I could do. If I had people working for me, I could do a lot of things. AI can do a lot of things that people can do, but it can kind of do it for free. So anyway, BuzzFeed says it's going to use some tools from OpenAI. Not even a big deal. They say it's just for one of their quizzes. They're not even writing articles with it yet. But I would just launch an AI news company like Zero Hedge or something. You can still pick the stories. All people do is read the news and summarize it and then put a spin on it. But you can tell it the spin. So anyway, because of this, though, the stock went up 150%, people said, total today. BuzzFeed stock, because they said they're integrating with AI. So I'm thinking about other ways maybe to invest in AI because, it is going to be a fad, basically, if nothing else. It's definitely going to be a fad, but not just a fad because it's going to stick around for a while. I mean, it's going to be integrated with everything. Microsoft spending $10 billion. They're going to integrate it with all their products. Microsoft Word, that kind of thing. If you want to do creative things, it's going to be helpful for that. And then they'll integrate it into, it's already being integrated into editors, photo editors. And photo editors can use the technology from DALL-E and stuff to do things that wouldn't normally be possible. There's an AI app for iPhone called Lensa, which does AI photographs. I have to try to experiment with it. So anyway, that happened today. And then this speech was written on the House. This speech was on the House floor, written by AI. So I have that for you. This is the first speech on the House floor written by AI. And speechwriters, forget it. Pretty much everything. Speechwriters, not so important.
Artificial intelligence research. This is a critical step forward in an era where AI and its implications are taking center stage in public discourse. We must collaborate with international partners like the Israeli government to ensure that the United States maintains a leadership role in AI research and development and responsibly explores the many possibilities evolving technologies provide. The United States-Israel Artificial Intelligence Center Act will allow us to tap into the expertise of both countries and draw upon each other's resources to explore and develop cutting-edge AI advancements.
Okay.
Mr. Speaker, I stand here today because I am planning to reintroduce the United States.
So that speech was written by the ChatGPT. He said he gave it a few different inputs, told it to tweak it a little bit. But the speech itself was actually written by ChatGPT, and it proposes an integration between the United States and Israel for AI supremacy. So what do you guys think about that? So yeah, that's what's going on. Buy our t-shirts. Let me show you this. Make sure to buy our t-shirts too. I'm wearing one today. This one's pretty cool. This one, when you wear it, people really do give you props. And it comes in a hoodie. Go to truthclothing.io and check out our t-shirts. You can pick up one of these. You can pick up a decentralized shirt. I'll check to see if anybody dropped me a coffee. Thank you, Hobo Tommy. Big shout out to Hobo Tommy, who's put a bounty on the N-word caller, which I don't know. I don't think it discouraged the N-word caller from calling in. The fact that I was getting 10 coffees every time he got through. Thanks someone who got 3 coffees and says they're an AI bot. Basil and Cyrus says, I'm not sure AI will be as widespread as you think. Wouldn't it be limited by available physical resources like servers and other computing resources? Okay, that's a good question. Yes, and that's why they're building out. Microsoft is spending $10 billion building out the system. So they already invested a few billion, but now they're spending 10 billion. And yeah, people will spend whatever it takes to build the infrastructure. It's going to run society, basically. I mean, it's not great. It's not, it'll, yeah. I mean, in my opinion, but again, I am a little more prone to believe in computer-based things over human things, but it's going to do a lot of things. And then robotics just has to catch up. The robotic stuff is hard. Like, you can't figure out how to squeeze things the right way. Thanks over on Rockfin. Thanks RC Striker. Appreciate it. Thanks Mansplainer, who says, Nate Broheim, don't let him pull you in, brother. The only AI available to the proles will be the kind that surveils you 24/7, but go ahead and report on it in case it is legit. Well, whether it's legit or not, I mean, it's definitely a thing. It's definitely a thing. It's going to do pretty much everything. Well, I can tell you this. I'd rather have an AI doctor at this point, a psychiatrist, or even a therapist. I would prefer it. So there are some people who will. But again, I'm a little different. But trust me, doctors like just check boxes. That's all they do. So an AI that knows, and an AI knows more than a doctor. So, yeah, for lawyers and stuff too, their careers aren't safe. That's all I'm saying. Areas that require high competency aren't safe. Thanks, Vogan Filter. Super appreciate it. And thanks, Big Brains 3000 Trend, who says, thanks for the show, Nathan. Well met. Appreciate it. So that's good, though. People are skeptical. Yeah, I know. I'm a little different. I'm always thinking of the ahead. So if you can come up, if you have original thoughts, you're still special. If you can tell jokes, you might still be special for a little while. If you can do a skill, you might not. It might not be special because the thing can learn skills. But I don't know. Hopefully the podcasting thing. Hopefully the AI doesn't take over for podcasting. But eventually, I mean, this year a bunch of stuff's going to happen. GPT-4 comes out this quarter. GPT-4 is supposed to be at least 10 times more advanced than the current one. So you'll see. We'll see. It's cool. Not everybody. That's cool. I'm just telling you about stuff. I'm experimenting with it. If you're interested in it, cool. If not, that's cool too. Other people are going to be using it. It might be a good investment in certain areas, like places are going to go up in value. Like I showed you what happened with BuzzFeed today. So things attached to AI are going to pump. So look out for it. But that's all I'm telling you. I'm different. I am a different person. I reported you about different facts. I reported you on the different fact that maybe that guy was bullshitting with Project Veritas. And I'm going to tune in and listen to what they're saying right now about it. So that's it. I'm going to tune in to Twitter Spaces. If you follow me on Twitter, you'll see the spaces I'm in, I believe. They won't let me talk, though. I'm not that special. So I'll leave you guys for tonight, though. I appreciate it. Thanks, everybody who dropped coffee. I'm still looking for members at buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil. If you go there and become a member and email me, I'll send you a code for a free t-shirt at buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil. It's $7 a month. And I'll send you a code for a free t-shirt just for signing up. So, but don't try to scam me. I'll know it. All right. So that's it for tonight. And we'll see you at the next one. For now, that's what it is.